All right. I said going into the break that I wanted to talk a bit about this Pelicans team, and then we'll get into the Saints linebackers. Let's start here, though. Because speaking of scrimmages that you can watch, the Pelicans will begin scrimmaging, I believe, tomorrow, as I quickly try to rifle through my notes. Yes, first scrimmage, except for tomorrow against the Nets, then Saturday against the Nuggets, and then Monday against the Bucks. That's right, Giannis Antetokounmpo and company. So if you want to watch, you can go on Pelicans.com or the Pelicans mobile app for the first two scrimmages. Those will be on app and website only. In an odd Stone Age quirk that I do not agree with, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, those will only be available streaming if you live within 75 miles of the Smoothie King Center. We're like right on the edge. Are we just making it within that 75-mile realm?
I think so.
I mean, it's close. It's super close.
Isn't New Orleans like 73 miles? Danny,
That's what I'm saying. Dude, you drive that every day. What do you think, Danny?
70-something.
So do you think we're within the 75 limit?
For Fox New Orleans?
Yeah. To get it live streaming. Because we'll all have Fox Sports New Orleans on our televisions, but if you want to watch it streaming, apparently you have to live within 75 miles of the Smoothie King Center. So if you don't, I'm sorry. The third scrimmage, though, which will be Monday against the Bucks, that will be on television. Fox Sports and all, the whole crew, your Joel Myers, your Antonio Daniels, your Jen Hale. Also 100.3 for all you ESPN listeners out there. We'll have every game. Now, one of the things that I'm most excited about, and look, yes, Zion is still, there's no word on the Zion front, which, y'all, that's a little crazy in and of its own right? And it makes me a bit worried from like a human empathetic standpoint, not worried from like a basketball standpoint. That seems to be the way lesser part of this equation. But Scott Kushner touched on this. Think about how competitive basketball scoops are, right? Like there are literal meme wars that have been had between Adrian Wojnarowski and Shams Charania as they try to break the latest, biggest NBA news. And yet, you have one of the biggest NBA stars, maybe the biggest storyline entering Orlando, the man who they kind of built everything around in terms of the 22-team setup, in terms of the television schedule and how they did it, Zion Williamson. That man is missing right now, and nobody, or he's taking time away, and there has been no reporting on what the actual reason is. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because there's definitely a part of me that is like kind of impressed. The Pelicans are respecting his privacy, and the media is respecting his privacy, and I think there's something kind of encouraging about that. So I'm not saying it's good or bad, but I am saying it's definitely odd. In a day and age where the scoops mean that much, it is odd, just the radio silence you've had surrounding this situation. And like I said, it just makes me a bit worried from a human kind of empathetic standpoint. I hope that everything's okay with Zion and his family. Now, if Zion can get back, one of the things I'm most looking forward to, we've talked a lot of lineups. We talked about the dominance of Favors and Zion when they're in the court together, how well Zion and Melly work off each other, given that Melly can help space the floor and free things up for Zion. We have not talked about a lineup that the Pelicans dabbled in this year, but didn't use a ton. And that is any lineup where Zion is the biggest man on the floor. And Zach Lowe had a really great write-up on ESPN. It was just 13 most interesting lineups to watch in the bubble. And the one that he highlights for the Pelicans, Zion Williamson, Lonzo Ball, Drew Holiday, Brandon Ingram, and Josh Hart. In 48 minutes this year, that group is plus 19 on the season. And I'll read Lowe's direct quote because I think it gives you an idea of how exciting this lineup could be. Quote, "This is the are you not entertained of NBA lineups. No one comes out unscathed. Bodies and limbs move so fast you can't really tell what is happening. They average 111 possessions per 48 minutes with these groups on the floor, so much faster than the fastest team ever that this almost isn't basketball anymore." Remember Alvin Gentry, and now this is back to me talking, but remember Alvin Gentry was one of the key creators of the current Golden State strategy and setup and the pace of play and the speed at which they play. And he has tried to bring that to New Orleans with middling results. But as he's gone on in New Orleans, the thing he's been increasing more and more, and he's been working on more and more, is increasing the pace of play. Well, this is the ultimate culmination of that dream and of that vision from Alvin Gentry. Like he said, those 111 possessions per 48 minutes, that is unparalleled in NBA history. Okay, not just in the NBA this year, in NBA history. And so, yeah, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see what kind of pressure that can apply in this Orlando bubble. The main problem with the lineup is that Zion is not actually the best defensive rebounder. And we're so, look, we praise Zion, rightfully so. He's had one of the most legendary starts ever to a career. As we said, when you look at what he's accomplished, the names that pop up alongside him are like Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, LeBron James. They are the greatest names of all time. But he's not perfect. Everybody's game can improve. And ironically, although the numbers aren't bad, as a defensive rebounder, Zion could be better. And while he actually struggles a bit, especially when there's not another big man on the court. So when he's the lone big man, like the potential pitfalls for this lineup, where I could see it not working, or the Pelicans getting out rebounded. Now I think having Lonzo on there, who's a very good rebounder, and Josh Hart, who will just do all the dirty work hustle, I think both of those guys help. But ultimately, if this super fast, warp speed, the Flash type lineup wants to work, I do think that Zion's going to have to improve on that defensive rebound number. And just for his game overall, that would go a long way towards helping him reach even the next level of superstar status that he's even flirting with. All right, when we get back here on OTB OT, we're going to talk to our good friend Shay Dixon from Go247, give you the latest on this LSU football team and the recruiting and what they're planning on doing, as they have recruits from Virginia, from California that will not be playing high school football this fall. We'll talk to Shay next here on OTB OT.